So at exactly midnight, I pressed play on Slasher Season 3. I've been looking forward to this since the announcement of it, and since we got a trailer like 2-3 weeks ago, finally letting us know that this was coming out. And I was ready, man. I was sitting there, pen in hand, paper in lap. So let's talk about episode 1. We're going to talk spoilers, but before we do, am I enjoying the season thus far? Yes, definitely. It's got a very good slasher vibe to it. I do think there will be some people that will be annoyed with the I guess they'll probably label this a social justice warrior agenda, because there is homosexual kissing and sex. Well, I guess there's not actual sex, but there's guys that are, really hot and heavy with one another. And it deals with xenophobia, with Muslims, stuff like that. So I think that will turn some people off. Honestly, these things happen. I mean, homosexual sex is obviously something that happens a whole bunch. And xenophobia, especially when something happens and they want to blame ISIS and the terrorists and whoever's wearing a hijab and whatever, it happens. I mean, I don't know, when these things are shown in movies, when people are crying like, oh my God, why do they have to shove this down our throats? It's part of the world we live in. I mean, it's real. So I don't know. I just have a feeling that people will think that it's like heavy-handed, agenda, blah, blah, blah. But all sad of that. Anyway, all right, let's get to the episode. So now I don't know anyone's name in this yet. I just watched episode 1. I cannot wait to get back upstairs. So let's get to this. The only one, I don't even know how to pronounce her name. Sadia. Anyway, so it starts off with a rave, and this guy is having sex with this girl in a rave, and he leaves the party to go back to his apartment. And with this kind of lifestyle this guy's living, he probably isn't going to live very long anyway, so the killer could have just waited it out, and he'd probably be dead by the weekend. But he chases him, and he stabs him, and I actually... I'd never seen this before. I thought this was pretty great. So, obviously, hopefully you've watched this, but for some reason you haven't. You're trying to get me to sell you, you're trying to get me to sell you on it. This was pretty rad. As I said, I don't think I've ever seen this before. So the guy gets stabbed twice by the killer, by the druid killer, who's wearing a mask that looks like something out of The Purge. It's got neon lights on it, but when they get a real good close-up of it, it actually looks like Dr. Doom's mask with neon lights on it. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so he stabs the guy twice in the abdomen, and the guy, his hands are covered in blood. And so he goes up these stairs, and he gets inside the stairwell, and there's a door there to close, and it's one of those doors that has the little push on it. I don't know what the hell that thing's called, actually, but whatever. So he goes to try to close the door, and the druid gets his arm in through the door, and he's trying to push as hard as he can to close it, but he's slipping on his own blood that's behind him, and his hands are so slick from his blood that he's falling away. It's actually really cool. The way it's done, I was surprised. I was like, oh wow, this is I've never seen this before, and it made sense in the way it was done. I was like, oh shit, that's gnarly. But then he chases him out on the street, and he gets hit by a car, and we get the title card Slasher here, which usually the opening kill is a girl, a damsel in distress running for safety, and he's running through all the halls, he's knocking on doors, and no one wants to let him in. He has some girlfriend that he's fucked over, some other friend he won't let him in, a neighbor who's like, fuck you, you meth head, whatever. So this place either really dislikes this guy, or because there's a decent amount of talk of meth use, drug use from the barista, and it seems to have, and then that, as I said, that neighbor calls him a meth head. So there seems to be a drug problem in this town. So I don't know if this guy has made a bunch of enemies and that guy specifically was like, fuck you, but he was high when he was coming back, so it would make sense that he's the drug addict. And so then when we cut to 1 year later and this girl wakes up to some nudies sent to her by somebody. I don't know if that's her boyfriend or not. And then she nicely takes a picture of her pussy and sends it to him. What a pleasant woman. And then this is when we meet Sadia, I think, his family, and I liked the back and forth there between the family. It felt realistic. I felt like I connected to them, and we realized, we were kind of told that a year ago something happened. We find out later that she tried to help the guy who was getting killed in the opening sequence, but her dad held her back from doing so. I don't know if that's all there is to the story, but for now, that's all we get. And then the dad who gets his head decapitated. Okay, so we get a pretty gnarly kill here. We get 2 really cool kills in this first episode. So the guy takes an axe to one side of his neck, and he falls down and blood squirting out of it, and then the killer comes up with the axe. And the way he runs at him and the way he's standing there, I actually liked how that all played out. But he hacks into him. He just swings, and it's a no cutaway, 5-stroke decapitation. So 1 swing and then 4 more here, and it does not cut away. It's an up close as his neck rips further and further away from when then it finally comes off the body. It's a great kill. It is CGI enhancements and whatnot, if not full-on CGI, but it looks really good, so I'm not going to complain on it. For you to be able to do a 4 swing, like into the same place, decapitation like that, showing the guy's face and everything in the shot, it would have to be CGI enhanced or straight up CGI, because I don't know, you couldn't do that practically. Not if the guy's face and whatnot is supposed to be real and looking, you could do that with a prosthetic head, but they only show prosthetic heads in movies for like a second because they're so clearly not real that they can only give you that quick glimpse. But here it's obviously him acting and his head's coming off. So I'll take it because I got to see the whole thing, which is badass. And then we get that same chick who took a picture of her pussy earlier listening to her neighbor, who's this young 18-year-old girl with the worst fucking balayage pink striped. What the fuck is that? It's like an ombre, but like a striped bray. Somebody paid for that? Like, that's horrid. I don't know what I've never had anyone ask for me to do that in my salon ever. But she's pretty fucking hot. She's a total bitch. So she's having sex with this guy and she's riding him hard, going to town. Then he finds out that she's 18. He's lucky. She's 18. And then she's like, as soon as she rolls over from this dude, she's on Tinder swiping yet another girl he probably could have waited on, and she'd be dead by the end of the damn day. No, not the day, but she'd be dead within a few years probably of the lifestyle she's living. Fucking swiping Tinder, like as the guy, like you literally just finished with the guy and you're already trying to hook up with other dudes. Holy shit, man. You trying to you collect STDs like some people collect stamps. You're gonna get them all. Not that there's anything wrong with promiscuous behavior. You can go out and fucking do whatever you want. No judgment. But you might want to take like a shower in between lovers. That's a general rule I think we should stick to. At least a shower, okay? Let's see here. And yeah, her dad's a racist asshole who's he's typing on alt-right websites, so there's probably some more heavy-handed, leftist agenda bullshit, I guess, for people. A barista can afford $1,000 outfit. I guess he owns that place. And this is obviously very centered on social media obsessed culture, because this is really playing into that. But if you want to take any theme from this that's relative to now. That's it. We really are social media, cell phone fucking obsessed. I'm here right now fucking vlogging on my cell phone as I talk about that. So pot, kettle. And the head is staged on the car, and then some guy comes and takes a picture of it and just posts it on social media, and it pops up on everybody's phone. I'm not really sure why everyone got a notification all at once. I don't know. Like, everyone in town got a notification. What is it, like an Amber Alert for heads? Severed head Amber Alert? Like, I don't understand how they all got a text there. They all have some pipeline. It's some small town. I don't even know what town this is supposed to be. But it feels very small, even though, I don't know. I don't know what city this is supposed to be. I don't think we'll know. And then, as I said, the girl gets attacked for being Muslim. She rips her hijab off and is like, you fucking ISIS bitch. And then we find out that dad who was decapitated was a witness, and he was just sitting in his car with a gun. I have to believe there's more to that story. Why is he just sitting there? So was he there to make a drug deal? Was he there? He was on the phone asking about a scratch on his car, but I don't think that pertains to much from what I could tell. But I'm thinking he's getting blown by a hooker, or I don't know, because he seems like he's an abusive father. He corners the mom, and then the daughter walks out, and the daughter is very daddy's girl, just smiles at him, doesn't seem to think anything of it. But the wife probably was like, yes, when she found out. I don't have to leave him now. The teacher trying to comfort the Muslim girl, Sadia, however you say her name. This is an odd scene. Is that teacher the one that was masturbating and listening to the Sex in the Wall? I think it was. Or she a principal, or I don't know. We'll find out. But the way she tries to comfort her, being like, hey, look, maybe it was because of how she was touching her. We're trying to, I don't know, because she's masturbating to the sound of sex on the other side of the wall. I guess this is my answer. She felt uncomfortable, but what she was saying to her, I was like all about it. I was like, hell yeah, this is what's up. Like, she's like, you're going to be ruling the world, and this girl's pussy is going to be dried up, and her face is going to be fucking mangled in like 10 years, and she'll be here doing nothing. I hope that brings you comfort. But she's all uncomfortable, and as I said, I'm guessing it's because of how she was touching her, but what she was saying to her was good stuff. So I think that was the comforting thing to say, because this girl really was on a fast track to nowhere. Although in this episode, she was on a fast track to a fucking acid swirly. Never seen that before. Let's see if I'm jumping ahead too much. Oh, the practical joke on the husband. That was a fucked up scene. So this crazy girl who's outside dumps gasoline on herself, and the girl's like, the vlogger girl is like, honey, come out here, this girl's gonna kill herself. And so he's screaming out the window, and she films it, and he's pissed off when she finds out she saw her fill it up with water. And he's angry, wants that shit deleted, and then he has the gall to go next door or somewhere in there. Everyone in this seems to have some serious skeletons in their closet, but that's how these always are. It's always got to make it look like everybody is either a suspect or is going to be a victim because of some discretion that they're part of. But yeah, he goes over and he has sex with this dude, like, in the building, after chastising her for filming some funny video that would have went viral if she put it up. And then the acid swirly. I'm kind of bummed she died so quick, because she really was pretty hot, and it's a bummer. She almost had her tits out. Ugh, so close. And that girl is not 18. That girl is well into her 20s. But yeah, the acid swirly he goes in the back. She doesn't hear who it is, goes in the back, throws whatever the hell concoction into the thing. I was just like, oh, he's gonna drown her. How lame. And then when she went in, I can't remember how we realized it was acid. Shit. But whatever, he sticks her face, and then it just starts boiling. Oh my god, he pulls it up, and it kind of reminds me of the nurse in Halloween 2, and he pulls her up, and her face is all starting to come undone, and then he puts her back in. Then when her face falls to the ground, it's gnarly, man. Her whole fucking face has been melted away. Good gore, fun kills, interesting setup, lots of characters that could all be involved in one way or another. They all seem to be related to this building. Definitely a bunch of them I already want to see die. So we got a high body count coming. There's 8 episodes, 7 more to go. I'm looking forward to them. I'm gonna go get there right now. What did you guys think of this first episode? Do you have any guesses on who the killer is as of right now? I fucking have no clue as it sits right now. I'm gonna really try to focus and see who it could be. It couldn't be, it can't be anyone we saw in those flashbacks of a year ago when the killer was out. So the main Muslim girl here and her father are off the list. And the girl who opened the door for the guy, I don't know who that was. Was that the 18-year-old? I don't know. Anyway, all right, getting on to the next.